Welcome everyone to this CELPIP Speaking Part 2 Personal Experience Analysis. Now I'm just here in the CELPIP Library Speaking Part 2. And before we get started, I do want to remind you that Speaking Part 2 focuses more on CLB 4, 5, and 6. What does that mean? Well, that means that this question should be easy enough for CLB 4, 5, or 6 to answer well. So if you need that level, then you should do well in this part, okay? Because other parts will be more difficult. And now, if you are higher level, if you need 7, 8, or 9, it means you will do well in this part too, but it means that this part will not show your higher level speaking like part 1, 6, or 7. Those parts will really show CLB 7 or higher, okay? Because this part, it's easier for all levels, okay? Now, also I want to remind you that we do have this really great tips and strategies video. This video will give you some ideas about how you can plan to answer the question, how you can prepare, how you can read the question, and just some things that you should do when you answer speaking part 2. And some of the tips and strategies that I will be following are in this video. So I will be leaving a link in the description box to that video, okay? So let's look at today's example. A good worker. Now I'm just here in the front page of this sample, and you will see that there are two levels. There's a CLB 5-6 sample, and there's a CLB 7-9 sample. And let's remember, everyone, this will be a CLB 5-6 sample, okay? And also, I do want to let you know that most of our lessons include vocabulary building. Now, vocabulary building is a really great exercise. It teaches you some new words. For example, over here we have words, basic meanings, some synonyms, some antonyms. And then after that, you have this really great vocabulary exercise where you have to complete the sentence by choosing one word from the list. You need to clean up and your messy desk. Good question. Whatever you maybe organize, hint, hint. So whatever you think it is, you write down the word in here. I'm not going to write it for you. And then you check your score and you should get 70% and you can review and retake the quiz. Very great exercise for building vocabulary. Also, both lessons have grammar building. Now, grammar building is a great exercise to improve your grammar. Now, for part 2 students, very important, most of the questions are in the past tense. So lower levels, 4, 5, and 6, we need to know our past tense very well, but also can be present tense and some future tense. We need to know our basic tenses, okay? And this grammar exercise is a very great lesson to inform you about past tense. And then you have some exercises. You read the exercise. I my teeth 3 times yesterday. I cleaned my teeth 3 times yesterday. Number 2, it was hot in the room, so I opened the window. Okay, so you write it down. It was hot in the room, so I opened the window. Very great. You write it down and you do them all like that. There's some more here, some more here. So the speaking guide, everyone, if you want a more detailed understanding of the speaking guide, then please watch the tips and strategies video in the link below. For now, all I want to tell you is that, well, usually this question, like I said, is complexity is 4 to 6, not very difficult. That means that lower levels, you should answer this question well. Higher levels, of course, you should answer this question very easily, okay? And also for higher levels, this question will not be the question that will determine whether you are 7 or higher, okay? That's important to know. Most of the questions involve past tense or simple tenses, okay? Using present, past, future, simple, very important. Lower levels, it's so important not to make so many mistakes with simple tenses. Higher levels, definitely you shouldn't make any mistakes with simple tenses for 7 or higher, okay? But lower levels, just a simple example, is or are, was or were, right? Will be, going to, conjugating the verb, study, studies. That kind of error you should try not to make, okay? And then, of course, very important, everyone, we want to have a complete response. Use all your time. No matter your level, you should try to use the full minute. Speaking for 30 seconds is too short. But also, you have to try to finish the question in 1 minute. Okay, so one thing that we can do is we can get to the last part of the question faster and speak more about it. I will explain more of that later in the example, okay? But again, using all your time, very important, okay? All right, and then here we have how we should organize our answer. Yes, organizing our response. And this is something that I will be using as I speak, and I will be telling you each part, introducing the question, answering the first points, okay, second points, and last points. The points are the questions that are in this topic. There are usually 2 or 3 questions, or sometimes 4. Again, you see here these questions. Where were you working? What was your job position? What was the promotion? Why do you think you got the promotion? Right. So that's what it means here with answer the first question, second question, last question. Okay. Very good then, everyone. Let's get started with today's analysis. So here we are. Part 2, personal experience. Preparation time, 30 seconds. Speaking time, 1 minute. Talk about a coworker you know who you think is a good worker. Okay. Someone you know who is a good worker. Okay. It can be a coworker you work with now or someone you worked with before. Okay. All right. Who is this person? What job did you do together? Why or how is this person a good worker? Okay. So, everyone, let's remember that we need to make sure to answer the question clearly and directly. Okay? We need to try to organize our ideas. Okay? Try to follow a straight order with each question. I will illustrate that. Let's try to not make simple grammar mistakes. This is very important. Okay? And let's try to have some good fluency and clarity. And I will explain that. So, with that in mind, let's get started, okay, by introducing the question. Okay, let's remember. We need to try to start the question directly on topic. I'd like to speak about someone I know who is a good worker. You see, we got that directly from the first part here. Someone I know who is a good worker. Okay, very good. And so we introduced the question directly. And let me remind you that I'm going to be putting the structure, or what we can always use to start, in blue and to organize in blue, and the main grammar form in red, or some grammar forms, and other parts in black. Okay. So we introduced, so now we need to get to the first question with who is this person? First of all, this is my current coworker, Justin. Okay, so someone I know right now whose name is Justin, and we work together at the company. Very good. So you see, who is the person? It's Justin. And we work together. Okay. Let's add another idea in here. We can use also. Also. Also, he was working at this company when I started 5 years ago. Very good. So we answered the question exactly what we need to answer, which is the first part, who is the person? And we said it's my coworker Justin, and we were working together for 5 years. Very good. So now let's get to the other question. What did you do together? Let's see. Regarding what work we do together. So you see, regarding the work we do together. Okay, perfect. Well, we help people find jobs. So we help people find jobs. Okay. All right. So we usually talk about our clients and how we can help them. So I work with Justin, and we work together. Like it says, what did you do together? To help people find jobs. So we have to talk together. Okay. Very good. Very good. So now, okay, we answered this part. Let's get to the last part. Why or how is this person a good worker? So we need to explain why. Okay. Personally, I think Justin's a great person to work with because he always helps me if I need anything. And he treats all our clients with respect. Very good, everyone. Very good. So we explained why Justin is a good worker. He's a great person to work with because he always helps me. So he always helps me. This is a conditional here. I should put it in red. If I need anything. And he treats all his clients with respect. Treats. Talks to them. Speaks with them. Very good, everyone. So, again, now, this answer is 6 or higher. Let's say 6 to 7 for sure. The first reason is because it's very well organized. We start with introducing the question, the first question, then the second part, and then the last part. Okay? So we start by introducing the question, which is great. That's what we want to do. And the second reason is because we answered it very clearly. Who is this person? Here it is. What job did you do together? Here we go. Why or how is this person a good worker? Here it is. We answered everything clearly, and that's very important. And then the third reason why this is 6 or higher is because, well, we didn't make any grammar mistakes, and we used some good ideas. Okay, it's not so strong, but that's okay. That's what we need to do for levels 6 to 7, okay? But of course, this is more about speaking. It is about speaking. And we need to speak this answer with really good flow and intonation. Flow and intonation. Okay, flow means continuously. Okay, we can't be having pauses. Okay, slowly and continuously is great. Not having breaks in speech. And intonation means we sound like we can pronounce things clearly and something more similar to a native speaker. Okay, the more you can do that, the higher. So that is flow and intonation. And so to practice that and to show that, I'm going to read this answer in 1 minute. Okay, so you can see that. Follow along, everyone, so you can see how I do it. Okay. I'd like to speak about someone I know who is a good worker. First of all, this is my current coworker, Justin, and we work together at the company. Also, he was working at this company when I started 5 years ago. Regarding what work we do together, well, we help people find jobs. So we usually talk about our clients and how we can help them. Personally, I think Justin's a great person to work with because he always helps me if I need anything. And he treats all of our clients with respect. Very good. So you see, I spoke that in about 50 seconds, which is good for this answer. Very important, slowly, clearly, continuously, okay? And also my intonation was trying to express things in a native way. I'll give you an example of that here with well. Well is a common word used in English to start speaking or to answer. What do you think about this? Well, I think, you see, like that. And so over here, regarding what work we do together, well. So you see, if I just say well, doesn't sound good. You need to say, regarding what work we do together, well, we help, you see, that is about intonation. Okay, so you need to practice that, okay, everyone, when you practice reviewing the answer, which gets me to the next point. What can we do to practice? Well, the first thing that we need to do is read and understand. We need to read and understand how we organize the answer. The connectors that we used, very important. Then we need to read and understand how we explain the ideas, right? What job did you do together? We need to understand how we explained it. And then we need to read and understand the grammar we used and the language we used, okay? And then the second thing that we can do is we need to read and speak the answer in 1 minute. Read and speak the answer in 1 minute to practice flow and intonation. It's very important, everyone. The more that you practice reading and speaking the answer in 1 minute, the more that you will improve your flow and intonation. Okay? And then the last thing that you can do, well, you need to speak the answer in 1 minute without reading it. Can you do that? Can you speak this answer in 1 minute without reading it? Well, the level 6, they can do it. The level 6 can do it. The ideas here, they're not so strong, and the grammar is not so strong. So level 6, the more times you read it, then you can probably say this answer by yourself without reading it. Okay? Now, level 5, 6. Okay, maybe you can't do it right away. Level 5. Okay. So you need to practice more and more. But you need to, maybe you can't say it all completely, but you can say some of it. And when we speak it, everyone, we need to speak from your knowledge, not from memory. Can you do that? Okay. So for that reason, I've left a link in the description box to this question. Okay. Yeah. To this question over here. I've left the link in the description box and you can practice reading and speaking the answer. Okay? And also, don't forget that you can practice the grammar building and vocabulary building exercises. Very great exercises to build your vocabulary and grammar knowledge. Very good. Lastly, everyone, let's not forget about CELPIP Library. Now, CELPIP Library has over 60 examples of speaking part 2, an interaction with an animal, doing it again, a home project, feeling surprised, a valuable profession, skills, place to visit, my family, a movie, an event, your dream, doing it again. Oh, we read that one already. Winners, bad service, an older friend, being stressed. So many topics, energetic. Over 60 examples of speaking part 2, where you can read sample answers, read and speak. Very great way to improve your speaking part 2 knowledge, okay? And for that, with discount code CELPIP79, again, that's discount code CELPIP79, you can get a 3-month subscription of CELPIP Library for $10.99. What a great deal, everyone. That's a great deal. And I strongly recommend it, okay? Let's not forget, practice makes perfect.